Hello and welcome to Study with Sudhir. I am T.S. Sudhir. Now that the council that conducts the examination for both ICSE class 10 and ISC class 12 has made it clear that the examinations will be held after the lockdown is lifted, and they will give a significant gap of at least 8 days between the announcement of the exam dates and the commencement of the examinations. I just want to put before you the challenges that the council, the students, the schools, the teachers, the invigilators will really face in order to ensure that these exams go through without any kind of problems, without facing any kind of problems. So there are significant challenges and we really cannot be blind to those kind of challenges, and it is something which all of us need to take care about. Now, one good thing of course is that the Union HRD Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank is going to announce the dates when the IIT JEE mains and the NEET exam, the entrance examinations, are going to be held sometime in the month of June, because then it will make it convenient for both the council and the CBSE to set its dates for the board exams, the exams which are postponed, so that they don't clash with the JEE mains and the NEET exams dates, and also there is a decent gap between these two examinations so that it does not put any of the class 12 students who want to appear for both examinations or have to appear for both examinations in fact to any kind of inconvenience. So ये एक अच्छा काम होगा कि अगर यूनियन एचआरडी मिनिस्टर मंत्री कल उन डेट्स का ऐलान कर देते हैं तो एक तरह की क्लैरिटी बन जाएगी कि किस महीने के कौन से सप्ताह में इस तरह के एग्जाम्स का कंडक्ट किया जा सकता है काउंसिल के द्वारा और सीबीएसई के द्वारा. ओके, पॉइंट नंबर 2, द काउंसिल has said that the pending examinations will be conducted without a gap between 6 to 8 days. 6 subjects of class 10 and 8 subjects of class 12, all of them will happen one after the other without giving a gap. Now that will mean that the schools that will be the examination centers will have to be prepared with the necessary support structure. That is something very important. My only concern is whether schools, cities में तो problem नहीं होगी, but schools in the smaller towns and cities, whether they will have the necessary infrastructure to cope with an exam over 8 days. And on 6 out of those 8 days, you will have both class 10 and class 12 students appearing for their exams, their board exams at the same examination centers. Will schools in the smaller towns and cities have that kind of infrastructure is my concern. Why do I say this? Because no longer you can have 30 students sitting in an examination hall, in a classroom, right? Now with social distancing, which will have to be enforced, it will mean that you cannot have 30 students. You may need to kind of cut down that number to 8 or perhaps 10. You need to maintain that distance between 2 desks, between 2 benches. Okay. Does every school have the infrastructure to accommodate both class 10 and 12 students if exams are to be held without a gap every day within a week in that many classrooms? Do schools have that many classrooms to accommodate that many students is the question. That's my another concern. And if exams are going to be held only in the month of June, as we think they will be, that's also the time by which many schools in many parts of India, especially South India, would have already reopened. Now, do schools have that many extra classrooms wherein to accommodate these students, given the fact that their regular classes for classes 1 to 10 and 12th class, that is except this new 11th class, all the other classes will have their regular classes and sessions. So do schools have that kind of extra infrastructure to be able to accommodate this many students over a period of 8 days is something which school managements will need to ponder over. Point number 5, and this is important, schools will have to invest in thermal scanners to check for the temperature of each student before he or she enters the examination hall. Sanitizers will have to be provided for in large quantities. Who will provide for all this? What I mean to say is that it's not a problem for the big schools. For the smaller schools with smaller budgets, who is going to fund all these thermal scanners and the sanitizers? Will the council foot the bill? That is something I'm sure many school managements will now be asking, because you're also talking about a period of at least 8 days. right? Who takes the responsibility and who will fund this will be another big question asked. Point number 6, what happens in a case where thermal scanning discovers that some student is running fever, and this may not be a COVID related fever, this could be a normal viral flu kind of a fever. What happens in that case? Would the student be prevented from writing the examination, or would the student be isolated and put in a separate room where he or she could write the examination? What would be done in order to ensure that the student does not get traumatized as a result of this extra attention? That is something which the student needs, this council and the school managements need to be very, very sensitive about, because they cannot jeopardize the examination of a student just because he or she may be running a non-corona fever, right? Now, many students who would study in towns away from their hometown, for instance, there are a whole lot of them who study in Kota and Rajasthan, for instance, and would have ideally given their board exams in Kota, just as an example I am taking. Now, during this lockdown, many of them, a majority of them have actually got back home. Would they be able to go back to their original center in the meantime? We don't know, right? NEET and JEE is going to give the choice to students to change their examination center, right? Would the council also do something similar for such students, that if I have come back home and I am not going to be there at the city where I gave the earlier examinations, would the council allow me, given the fact that it's a board exam and the question paper would be uniform, would the council allow me to take the examination at a school / exam center near my home in my hometown? That is something the council would do well to clarify, okay, given that NEET and JEE is going to do the same. Now, the council has said that the results, point number 8, the council has said that the results will be announced within 6 to 8 weeks after the pending exams are conducted. Now, that's also the normal time they take for the checking of the papers, because 2019 the exams got over, I think, on the 25th of March and the results came out on the 7th of May. So, you are talking of a similar kind of a time frame. Now, but there is a big difference, because at that time the evaluation is done during the summer vacation, where the teachers are not busy with the classes. But now what will happen is that by that time the schools would have reopened and the teachers would be busy with their regular classes also. So now the council will need to get the best and the senior most teachers out for evaluation work, right, even as the new academic year would have begun. How would the council take care of this evaluation without affecting the school teaching work? And already the school teaching work has been affected to a large extent because of the pandemic, because of the lockdown, because of schools being closed. Yes, online classes were taking place, but online classes obviously were not taking place in all schools throughout the country. On an average, some 15 to 20 answer scripts are checked by an evaluator, right? So what would happen? Does the council have any plan to kind of ensure that more answer scripts get checked in a particular day? Would they have more evaluators, more examiners? No clarity on that. Last point, the council has spoken in terms of provisional admission, and we had already clarified what is provisional admission in an earlier video. But will the council's decision to say that give provisional admission be applicable and be followed by CBSE and state board schools also? That is something to ponder over. ISC schools may do that for ICSE school students, but if an ICSE school student wants to change the school and the board from ICSE to a CBSE or a state board school, would that CBSE / state board school give admission to an ICSE school, and if yes, on what basis? That is something again which the council needs to clarify. How can the council help in a case where the CBSE or state board school does not give admission, or would it end up forcing all the ICSE students taking admission only in an ISC school? Now just look at the statistics. Class 10 examination, there are about less than 2 lakh, about 1,80,000 odd students who appear for the class 10 ICSE board examinations. but the class 12 board examination number for actually comes down by almost a lakh. The numbers is around 85,000, which means about 1 lakh students migrate from ICSE to either CBSE or a state board. So there would be that number of students. So would this council's decision or directive which they gave in their press release on the 1st of May be followed also by the state board or the CBSE schools? These are all questions which obviously one needs to ask the council, and the council would do well to clarify its position on many of these doubts which have been raised. Thank you very much for watching.